Alright, so the story for Jack the Giant Slayer is pretty simple. You have Jack's character, played by Nicholas Hoult, who is a simple farm boy. You know, he's pretty simple, kind of stupid. He's young, about 18, 19 years old, but you like him, you do. And he goes into town one day with a horse and tries to sell this horse to make some money, and he mistakenly sells the horse to a monk that gives him magical beans, and he's all like, what am I going to do with these beans? Where'd he go? And the monk's already gone. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a funny scene. He hangs his head in shame, and he goes back to his house where his uncle lives and says, "This is all I got." And he's all like, "What the hell is this?" He smacks it out of his hand, and one of the beans falls into the cracks of his house into the ground. You already see where this is going. And later on in the film, a woman shows up to his house while it's raining because she is lost, and she's all like, "I need help, blah blah blah, I don't know where I am." And Jack says, "Hey, I know who you are. I actually defended you earlier in the film. You're the princess," because he actually defended her in this theater type place. I don't even know what it is, but he actually defended her earlier from some muggers or something like that. "And I know who you are. You're the princess. You're Isabella." And they actually start to form a relationship. Some chemistry is happening, whatever. And of course, the beanstalk gets all wet. I mean, the bean gets all wet, and of course, the beanstalk goes, "I'm gonna cock block you, Jack!" Boom! And a freaking big beanstalk just flies out of nowhere, brings the house with it. Jack falls, but Isabella's still in the house, and she goes all the way up in the sky, and Jack wakes up the next day and sees that Ian McShane's character is staring right at him, the king of the kingdom, and says, "Where's my daughter?" And Ewan McGregor's character standing right there. He's the general. He met with him a little earlier in the film too, and they're all like, "Where the hell, blah blah blah," and Jack's all like, "She's up there with the beanstalk." And of course, Ewan McGregor's character, a bunch of other soldiers, and Jack has to go up there and of course save her. Now, but what are they saving her from? That's the question. Well, if you're really asking that question, it's kind of stupid, because of course they're saving her from giants. Come on, there's a big piece of island up in the sky, and that's where the giants live. The giants are like fabled creatures that used to eat humans and stuff until the old king of old times sent them up there where they can't harm humans anymore. And that's pretty much the story. You know, they have to go and retrieve her, and then of course the giants come down and whoop some ass and stuff, blah blah blah. They're big, scary, and eat people. And I really like the story of this. The tonal shifts of this film, and that's a different word, I never use that word, but the tonal shifts in this film from humor for kids, you know, like boogers and like fart jokes, and the times where the giants eat people and you kind of see like the head getting bit off and stuff. It's pretty violent at times, but then it shifts into some of the comedy for the kids, and I thought that was going to be very like jarring, like out of nowhere, like they're picking their nose and eating their boogers and stuff, and then they're stepping on people and it gets pretty violent. I mean, you don't really see much. You kind of see the head crunch. You actually see like maybe a decapitated body. You don't see like the big wound, but you see like he has no head and stuff. It's implied, and you could definitely tell. Even a 4-year-old could tell that person's dead. And it's pretty violent, but the shifts aren't that bad. It's pretty, it's pretty good the way they handle it. I actually really like that. And I really enjoyed the acting here. I thought everybody did a great job here. You have Nicholas Hoult, who we just saw in Warm Bodies, and he was great in that, and he's great here. He definitely is a star that you should be, looking out for, because he's already been a star in 2 big movies. Here's another one, and he's great in this. His character's name is in the title. There you go. He must be good. And yeah, he's great in this film. I can't remember the actress that plays the princess, but she's really good in this film as well. I really liked her, and the chemistry between her... Ooh, damn, what the hell was that? Between her and Nicholas Hoult's character, Jack, is really good. Like I said, Ewan McShane's in it, and he's not in it too much, but when he is, he's great. I love Ian McShane, and I'm always happy he's in a film. And Ewan McGregor, who I love also, Ian and Ewan... kind of too similar there, but Ewan McGregor's in it as well. He's really fun in this film. He's actually very funny at times, and he actually seems like he's actually having a really good time. And I really like when actors are having a good time in a film that's supposed to be a good time for us. So he looks like he's having a great time. Everybody else does a great job, especially Stanley Tucci, who plays the somewhat secondary villain. He is great in this film. I really enjoyed him in this. Stanley Tucci always plays the kind of weird, kind of, funny type characters or over-the-top characters. Here he definitely plays an over-the-top character, but I think he does a great job with it. So overall, I think the acting here is a lot of fun. I think the story here is very entertaining, and the shifts between violence and violence and humor is good. Even though the movie's not all that funny, I don't feel it like shifts out of nowhere and goes, "Oh my God, oh what, oh that's kind of funny, boogers." Oh, he just got his head ripped off. Like, no, it did a decent job. But the reason why you're gonna go see this film is because of the action and the special effects. And the action and special effects here are phenomenal. It's such a fun movie when it gets into the action, and hell, when it's not getting into the action, all the dialogue, all some of the little humor, some of the little visual gags, or just the visuals themselves are just so much fun to look at. It really is. And when it gets to the action, that last 20 minutes is so epic, where it's pretty much a siege film where the Giants try to take over this big castle. It's actually really, really exciting, very exhilarating, and the special effects are amazing, especially when you get into the Giants themselves, where they all look pretty different, like in the faces and the body structure and the hair and stuff. They look great, especially when they move their mouths and they actually have life in their face. It looks amazing, it really does, especially the main giant in here, voiced by Bill Nighy, who's great in this film. Oh, I'm sorry, Bill Nighy, right? Yeah, Bill Nighy, not the science guy. Bill Nighy, and he's great in this film. He has like 2 heads and stuff, and that's where most of the humor comes from the second head. But you know, the visuals on that one is amazing, really, really amazing. But all the action in itself is a lot of fun. It's great special effects all the way throughout. And the only problem I have with the special effects and the movie itself is that there's a whole scene in the first 10 minutes that feels extremely cheesy. It really does, where it's a dad and a mom telling their kids about this tale of the Giants. And also, I didn't really care for the ending too, which is kind of similar in a way. But besides that, I really, really enjoyed this film. It does have slow moments, sure, but for the most part, I really enjoyed this film all the way through. It's silly, but it's fun. And I give it a 34 out of 40. I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun, especially in the action. Thank you, and go check it out. Goodbye.